plains of Karamoja in the districts of Moroto and Napak. These plains are today resonating with voices of women seeking to amplify and consolidate influence in leadership and in gender development processes and programs, ensure availability of basic services in the household, inclusiveness, better socio-economic and political outcomes for women and girls in this part of the country.
We have worked with women councillors at the district level, and we have introduced a concept of caucusing to the women, and this was intended to support the limited numbers of women in council. Most of our women had limited confidence to challenge council proceedings, council processes, but also local government practices that could enhance service delivery, budget allocation towards specific concerns of the constituencies of women that they were representing.
For the last 8 years, Dan Church Aid and Uganda Women's Network have concentrated effort here in empowering women to participate and influence decision-making processes.
We went to sub-county level, bridging the gap between the women at district and the women at sub-county, therefore creating a link of information flow, a link of skill, a link of discussion that we believe could enable the women to make a bigger influence onto council proceedings and allocations. From our experience, we have got very great learnings, but we have also seen very good successes. When we went to sub-county, we didn't have any woman leading any of the sub-county councils. Now we have 2 out of the 4 sub-counties we're working in as female speakers.
Lotome sub-county community members were unhappy with the then sub-county chief, who quite openly expressed indifference to aspirations of community members, especially the women.
We took our time to do everything, later bringing our forms here, web groups, women's group, that the former chief took like we are not women to benefit. He went and dropped our files under his desk, whereby we waited and waited up to full year. I took an action because women were coming to me asking, the groups we formed, why are they? We are not even getting any information from anywhere. When they really saw that man was not doing the right work, they told us, go back, we're going to send someone to do on your files, and will be sent to the district, and really they sent. And when we came back, that man was called to the district, was demoted, whereby they brought for us a new chief.
Today, the people of Lotome sub-county, especially the women, find more comfort in relating with Darius, the acting sub-county chief.
I have a plan to strengthen these women groups, especially the ones of women. Register your groups, and when some of these services come, either from government, from partners, we shall always take to organize groups. We shall not give to individuals.
For several years, Karamoja sub-region was one of the hard-to-reach areas of the country, and therefore one of the least developed regions. Being a predominantly pastoralist community, there was little regard attached to other aspects of life. But in recent times, the region has experienced improvement in important development infrastructure like roads. Women are taking advantage of these improvements to strategically stimulate and fast-track growth and development. A critical sector for them is education. They have seriously taken to promoting education of both the girl and boy child.
Our leaders, most especially women, come and talk to our parents and children on the importance of education. And much as we see that the enrollment is not so much increasing, but at least we are seeing some impact on those sensitizations. And we are seeing that children are coming to school, though in few numbers, because of some other challenges actually.
Here, Joyce, together with members of Lotome Primary School Management Committee, review concern for community attitude, enrollment, retention, concerns that are key in ensuring that the learning and teaching process are not deterred.
In Rupa Sub-County, due to the strong leadership of the Speaker and her fellow female councillors, they have come up with very good bylaws that is now being replicated in other sub-counties. One of the bylaws that they advocated for was the educational bylaw. And here they were looking at the education of the girl child. There were parents who were still not appreciating taking girls to school. During their oversight roles, they identified this as a very critical issue. They lobbied with other NGOs within the district and were able to initiate a scholarship program.
Rupa Sub-County Scholarship Fund is currently supporting 60 students at secondary school, 10 in vocational institutions, and 5 at university level.
First of all, I'm in education committee. Why not to strengthen the bylaw on education? 100 million shilling was put aside to cater for education bursary.
So I thank this scholarship for bringing me back to school. I would be just staying at home.
I was not to be at school. Now I'm in school.
UWONET supported us in creating awareness about the bylaw.
Members of the Sub-County Women's Caucus follow up whenever they can to find out how these students are faring, give them words of encouragement, and ensure that they are making good of the fund by attending school.
The knowledge and the empowerment of UWONET, because the trainings that they give always are intensive. They are very strong, not just light trainings. They emphasize on things and policies. They say women arise and speak for other women on the grassroots. So I took that chance when I became a speaker.
Using leadership skills gained from the UWONET training, Honorable Achia has ably drawn members of her community into embracing the culture of saving.
25 chairs.
Nagis Savings Group was started in February 2019. As of June 2019, the group, which has a membership of 30 persons, the majority being women, has a net worth of just over 10 million Uganda shillings.
I'm seeing things are moving well. I'm moving well on the side of education, on the side of decision making, on the side of sharing. For example, in peace meetings nowadays, women are involved. Women are peace initiators. You remember during disarmament, women are the ones who were wheeling the guns back, even without the money coming. So in peace meetings, we are involved. Decision making is a council. The woman can raise anything, can be accepted. Now women work, can contest in the positions of men. Now women now have realized their rights. Women are active, they are involved in the groups. Women are now doing business.
It's also important that we highlight the role that the religious and cultural leaders have contributed towards the success of this project. they have been able to provide a bedrock of community support towards women's leadership, because these are strong power holders within the communities. They decide on who should be voted, who shouldn't be voted, which decision the community should take and which decision they shouldn't take. So for the women to have that environment that was conducive for their oversight, for their representation, for their legislative role, we needed such power holders to work together with them.
Poor sanitation and hygiene were for a long time a classic characteristic of settlements in Karamoja communities. Now, households are being targeted and supported to overcome the vicious cycle of disease.
This training was a very good training. There is a great improvement here in Karamoja, Moroto in particular.
The institution of elders in Karamoja is one that is held in high regard among the Karamojong, which is why it was appropriately seen as an important conveyor for messaging and delivery of necessary development actions for the project. Josephine is one of the first few women recognized and bestowed the title.
One of the casual leaders who was empowered and trained by UWONET for a long time in different trainings. In these trainings, we had a training on leadership skills. We had a training in mediation, and we had a training in women's rights and girl child. We had a training on gender-based violence and land issues. And from all these trainings, I'm privileged that I am exercising these issues in our communities. And as per now, I'm one of the elders who's respected in this village. And the community always, when they have problems of those kind, they still come to me for help, for mediation. I also refer them to relevant places like police, Mufumi, and others, where they can get help. You know, they report cases, others will report cases at night. Others come from very far, they report cases, which sometimes I cannot handle them immediately. There are those ones that I can handle immediately. But why I put here my case management book is also to follow up these cases, to know that this one maybe I have solved it at the family level or community level, or this one I need to refer.
Having registered considerable success, UWONET intends to ensure that these gains are sustained and indeed further entrenched into the women empowerment agenda and bringing on board other actors.
When you look at this, the design of this project is basically to make sure that the institutional capacity of the targeted district network is strengthened. Through this intervention, we're able to invite all the members to come and to sit together in the round table to design and to adopt the annual report of CAO in terms of the audit and the narrative report, and also to give strategic direction.
With such kind of broad community support towards women's leadership. It will grow a sense of identification, role models, and also empower or call on other young girls to actually take on leadership within an environment that is already conducive.
In implementing this project, there are observations that have been made that may require even more concerted effort towards realizing even better gains for women in the sub-region.
The councils who are supposed to be working together, they still have that attitude, poor relationship, to work with the fellow women, So they are not ever involved, but except when we are called for a training and it is only an allowance, but coming together in a free time without any support, they cannot willingly come. There is that gap.
As our politics do change, the divides between the women also is increasing. So understanding the multi-party dimension of democracy is something that our women are still challenged over. How do I mainstream the interests of the political party to the interests of the constituencies that I do represent? How can I work with women from other political parties on a common agenda that affects us as women? So this kind of divide still requires a lot of reflection, a lot of mentorship, a lot of women sitting together and discussing this and coming up with a deeper understanding of why this politics is as masculine as it is and what its effect is on their lives as as women and girls in such communities.